Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at XRP then. So a little bit of an overview of what's going on in the market. Bitcoin's pumping up about 10%, and they're bouncing from the centre of the Bollinger Band, so that basically big buyback there, Bollinger Band catching up to the price action, bouncing again, rejection from the from the 7 simple, and now we're testing this level here, which is essentially one of the areas that we broke down from significantly. So it looks like bull market is perhaps maybe still on board, with Dixie looking like it's going to meander around this area. It's not looking particularly strong, not looking particularly weak. The charge is going to be led by Bitcoin, which might have an impact on Bitcoin dominance. We'll have a quick look at this on the daily, just having a quick understanding of what's going on. So yeah, I mean we're looking to I suppose see an increase in dominance again. So alts maybe be carried, with Bitcoin, but Bitcoin, if anything, is going to have the stronger move, I would imagine, over this next week perhaps, and then leading into, as long as Bitcoin doesn't have a massive dump again, if Bitcoin can, I suppose, hold at a certain level, then altcoins again are worth scaling into around about 71% dominant to as much as 73% dominant. Nothing's ever safe and secure, but these areas are basically where the alts are likely to start rallying from when Bitcoin dominance is rejected from here. We're playing amongst this range. This is the range that we're playing in for going in and out of Bitcoin. So buying into Bitcoin at the support, selling in and buying into altcoins around these levels. XRP's got obviously another thing going on with itself, which is this whole FUD, this whole SEC business. So you've got to look at it, with a pinch of salt, with a little bit of skepticism about how this chart can actually play out. But really, I like to try and focus on the chart itself. Now, when we see this chart, what we see is a significant bounce from the bottom of this blue zone, which is the bottom of the accumulation zone down there. So that was strong. Finding our way, breaking above this level of resistance, which is now, I would imagine, a support. So we respected it on this occasion here, and were rejected from here. And this also coincides to the second period of accumulation that we had after this first pump, after the first initial accumulation, pump, reaccumulation, pump. So we've reclaimed that. So I believe what we're looking to do now is reaccumulate within this zone. Okay, this is a large zone. Bollinger Band, is all the way down at 18.5 cent. Towards the top, it's 34 cents. A really big range. We've got on this chart here, we're below most of the significant areas, like the 200 exponential and the green 50 exponential. So in that respect, we've got rejected there. We tried to hold on to support and we've not managed it. So reclaiming areas like 31, 32 cent is important, but we are in this blue box range. This blue box range corresponds to the top that we were trying to hold last time we had a pump. Not the very last pump, the pump prior to that. So we could, essentially be looking at a consolidation from this move, because this in itself is a big move. We can measure it from that bottom of the wick all the way to the top there. That's a 114% move. It's a big move, a move that's worth consolidating from. So if that is the case, the consolidation can take place all the way down to, I would imagine, maybe around this level where we found ourselves last time. Okay, so this is reaccumulation zone. So maybe, if we're below the green 50 exponential and we're below the 200 exponential, it's reasonable to assume that we're consolidating and could come down to this eventually. I'm not saying that 23, 24 cent is the area that we're going to come back down to, but it could be tested. We're above the center of the Bollinger Band, which is good. That's bullish in its own way. But I believe what we're looking at now is a consolidation after this super bounce, which is what it was. It was a super bounce. Obviously, when you look at it in this respect, you're like, oh, we're falling out the sky, we're dead, it's over. But let's look at it from this perspective and just look at it about what it had done recently. It did a 112% move. A move like that on any chart is going to want to consolidate afterwards. It's going to need to. There's a big move on itself. But we're not bullish until we reclaim both of these exponential moving averages, and I don't think we're quite ready to do that. But if we were to do that, I would be actually pretty bullish on that, especially if we got support on both of those, a confirmed support. Doesn't look ready for me at the moment. I think we're consolidating and probably reaccumulating, and we'll stay within this zone for a little bit longer. But I don't think that this is dead. I do actually quite like this chart for what it is. But is it something that I'm expecting big moves from right now? Not really. I'm not expecting that. I'm not saying it can't happen. It could, but it looks like it's consolidating from this move. But a consolidation from here, so long as we don't revisit these lows, which I don't think we will do unless the entire market dumps, I think this is what's known as a reaccumulation, similar to this one here, and I think what will happen is we'll take a perhaps maybe another leg down to this level of support, or maybe even the centre of the Bollinger Band, but we are being rejected from these at the moment. So classic reaccumulation. This can take time. We wait for these moving averages to converge, get closer and closer and pinch together, and basically the range gets smaller and smaller and tighter, and then I would imagine that the next move would be an up rather than a down. So I think this one will actually recover from this entire situation, regardless of all this skepticism and bad news that's been brought upon it. And I've said this several times, and I'll say it again. If I was to look at this chart here, and I've studied this XRP market cycle, if I saw this, if someone from the future showed me what this chart was going to do, and they said, look, this is how the chart behaved, after the consolidation, I would say, okay, that is about right. That's kind of what I would expect to see. Maybe a little bit early, but that's kind of what I'd expect to see. With or without any of this bad news, I'd take a look at that from the future me who presented me this chart, and I'd go, yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's how it. And in my mind, that's how it's likely to behave anyway. Maybe not quite so aggressive on the way down, but essentially, revisiting some of these lows, consolidating. I'm not expecting a great deal from XRP until later on in the year. So looking at these realistically at these levels, am I saying we're going to reach an all-time high? It would be naive of me to say that we would. It would also be silly for me to say that we wouldn't. Like I say, there's a lot of altcoins out there since the XRP did its mega rally. They're all taking a big share of the market cap, and especially after what's happened to this recently, a lot of the market cap from XRP has been redistributed into the others, and you can see that with the top cap coins all rallying, while this poor old soul stays down in the dumps. But doesn't necessarily mean that it's over for it at all. The thing that I like about it is that there is still method to it. There is still something to be said for the chart, and so long as the chart still has method to it, it's still a chart that I will continue to look at. It's impossible for people to predict, a new all-time high or what's going to happen so far in the future. But like I say, if the future me came back to the me a year ago when I was looking at this as a market cycle, and I was saying that we will have pumps on this one, this will make big moves. Once we're out of this zone here, we will make big moves again. And the future me showed me this chart, I'd go, yeah, all right then. Yeah, so that's fine. I've got no reason to dispute that. But I'm not saying that this is a bullish chart. It's not a bullish chart, not at the moment. We need to reaccumulate and then make our decision if it's something that we want to buy, if we even have the capacity to do it. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.